Oink. All right. All right, boys and girls. Patch 2.9 notes. I am prepared to be the saddest. I am very prepared to be the saddest person in the world. Card updates. Oh boy, we got a paragraph. All right, we've got a paragraph here. Oh god. We've seen a lot of conversation in the community lately on the topic of live design. Players are passionate about it, and we're passionate about it as well. We believe that live design is strongly connected. That fundamental aspect of Legendary Terra allows our team to build more card updates without punishing players for past card deck and acquisition choices. Ultimately, our goal is to make Legendary Terra as most fun as we can. We try to focus our changes to be targeted as targeted as possible to avoid collateral damage, blah blah blah. However, there are times when it's clear that changes are necessary to ensure the experience is fun and exciting. Taliyah and Malphite are both clear examples that need live design attention. It's an easy decision to make because so many of our inputs into the decision-making process clearly indicate that Taliyah, Malphite, and their primary deck are not meeting our standard. Aurelia and Azir are not so obvious because they are different inputs that contradict each other, and it takes time to gather information and to make a decision. In the first 3 weeks of Guardians of the Ancient, we have seen Aurelia and Azir's deck, oh god, rise and fall in popularity and efficacy. Over time, our decision on whether or not we should make balance changes on them on the deck has shifted. Okay, we know that they were saying before that they weren't going to. So the fact that the opinions have shifted, that's a good sign. We love the play pattern of Aurelia and Azir as well as Blade Dance. We've learned that a ton of players love it too, and we want to keep the feel of the deck intact. However, our most recent information indicates the deck is just too powerful, so we're making 2 very targeted changes. Okay. We hope to maintain the fun while opening up opportunities for other strategies and to reduce the frustration of playing against it. We'll continue to monitor the metagame as it evolves, and we'll consider more changes going forward if necessary. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. That's a good thing to read. Okay, all right, let's take a look. First thing we see is Taliyah. That's good. I like that. Taliyah level 1, base stats 2 to 4 to 3 to 5. Oh boy, they gave her +1/+1. And then Malphite, we can't see it. I can't see Malphite, but he says you've summoned 12 plus mana of landmarks is now 10 mana of landmarks. Okay, Eye of the Raharok actually just straight up levels Malphite now. Eye of the Raharok just levels up Malkyle by itself. Hi Rob, hi Bambooper. That's funny. Both Taliyah and Malphite have struggled to find a home in the meta. We like how the deck plays, and these buffs add more power into the champions in a way that shouldn't drastically change their archetypes. Taliyah should feel a little more sturdy. That was never the problem. And Malphite should level up more consistently. That was also not really the problem. These both suck. These both are not good. We can play Malphite in a deck with only Eye. So, okay, so look. Taliyah, when she attacks, a level 2 Taliyah with the landmark on the board is still not gonna hit the Nexus. They gave her +1/+1, and she's still not gonna do anything. She's just gonna not hit the Nexus. She's gonna continue not hitting the Nexus and being completely useless. And Malphite, it's not like we were generally getting to round 7 and not leveling up Malphite. That wasn't the issue. None of these changes alone do not fix Malphite and Taliyah's decks, but there might be more changes later. There might be more changes in the future, right? We might get like changes to landmarks and stuff, right? I don't know. You guys have read this already. You guys know that there might. You guys know whether or not there are, but I don't know yet. Okay. I'm getting a lot of bugs, so I'm going to refresh the page. It didn't do anything. Okay. Blossoming Blade. Cost 4 to 5. Base stats 3/3 to 4/3. Okay. Blossoming Blade is now a 5 cost. Okay. 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 That's not huge. That's not huge. But it does matter. That's not huge, but it does matter. All right, let's take a look at Inspiring Marshal. Cost 5 to 6. That's much bigger. That's much huger. It's become clear that the Aurelia and Azir deck is too powerful. Ultimately, we decided to focus on changes on Inspiring Marshal and Blossoming Blade To ensure that our changes focus on this deck, we want to reduce the amount of collateral damage to other decks such as Azir Burn and Azir Lucian, both of which we think are healthy for the game, okay? They don't exist right now. Azir Burn and Azir Lucian, well, Azir Burn maybe, but Azir Lucian doesn't exist because it's just worse blossoming. It's just worse Blade Dance, right? This specific deck will remain on our watch list and we will continue to monitor its performance over time. Okay. So they gave Inspiring Marshal... What? Base stats 4-5 to 4-6. Wasn't it already a 4-6? So its cost went from 5 to 6 because it cost 5, and then its stat went from... It already had 6 health. It already had 6 health. I'm confused. I'm confused by this line, but essentially Inspiring Marshal costs 6, and that's good. So Inspiring Marshal is gonna come down a turn later. Maybe it's dropping to 5. Yeah, maybe it's going to 5 health. Might be. It might be. But that's good. This card is like utterly game ending. And this is actually a big deal. I think this is actually a pretty big deal. This might seem like it's not a huge change, and I think that's wrong. I think this is actually a very significant change. This is going to make it so that Aurelia Azir I think this is the one turn slowdown that we were looking for. I think this literally makes it so that Azir Aurelia generally is going to kill you a turn later than they used to. They're gonna instead of killing you on round 5 or 6, they're gonna have to kill you on round 6 or 7. That's very significant. I don't know if it's enough, but it is not bad. This is not bad. I like this change a lot, actually. Like the Blossoming Blade one, that's okay. That's nice, but not really the problem. This is the problem, and this is very good. I like this a lot. I like this. I was playing with nerfed Aurelia this whole time. Yeah, I know. Okay. Oh, wait, that's it? That's the whole thing? Oh. 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 I see. That is a little disappointing. All right, I see. Overtime. Okay, this is interesting. Overtime has been adjusted for best of 3 matches. While in overtime, players now have approximately 25 seconds to complete their turn. What did they have? What did they have before? I don't know. I don't know what they had before. Huh. So that's it. They did do the thing we wanted. They nerfed Azarelia. They buffed Malphite and they buffed Taliyah, but like not meaningfully. I don't think either of those things are meaningful. I'm not even gonna like probably bother touching. There is an Aurelia buff tucked into bug fixes. Fixed a visual bug when attempting to purchase cards. Fixed a visual issue where skin names were formatted incorrectly. Scrying Sands now correctly gives an enemy a -2, even the player casting it cannot predict. Interesting. Spell Shield now correctly blocks Scrying Sands. That's good. That's good. I was thinking about that during my tournament the other day about my opponent. I had a Nasus and my opponent had Scrying Sands, and I was like, uh-oh, I need to play around Scrying Sands going through Spell Shield. I'm glad that that's not around anymore. Aurelia should now correctly create Blade Surge in hand on attack the turn she levels up. You're kidding me. Am I reading this correctly? You're kidding me. Wait. You're joking, right? This is not what I think it is. You're not telling me what I think you're telling me. I've been playing with nerfed Aurelia this whole time. My power is infinite. $1 million LP by this weekend. Aurelia gets a free Blade Surge. Are you okay? So, if I'm reading this correctly, let's make sure I understand exactly what this line of text means. Let's say it's round 5. Aurelia is like 9 out of 12, right? You play Aurelia on round 5, she's 9 out of 12, you have a Dais, right? You have one Emperor's Dais, you play Aurelia, she creates a blade, a flawless duet in hand. Oh, Blade Surge. She should now correctly create a Blade Surge in hand. On attack, the turn she levels up. You mean on the attack that she levels up? So you're saying that when Aurelia levels up, she instantly creates one Blade Surge? Is that what we're saying here? Like exactly in my example where she was 9 out of 12, she creates the flawless duet, you play the flawless duet, you attack with exactly 3 units, she exactly levels up, she creates a Blade Surge right then? Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. That's very, very bad. That's not good at all. Uh-oh. That's actually not intuitive. Don't come to ladder tomorrow. So, okay. So some people were saying, like, in total, like, this is a net buff. This is not a net buff. This is definitely still a nerf to Azarelia. This change is much more significant than that one. But that's not to say that this is insignificant. This is not insignificant. This matters, right? This matters a lot. I think it matters less than this, but it matters quite a bit. That is not good. That is not good at all. The 5-mana blossoming is huge. The marshals, whatever. We just play voice now instead and mull differently. Oh, is that what we're gonna do now, Darkodius? We're just gonna play voice. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, do we just switch to Voice of the Risen instead? I don't like that. Oh no. Uh-oh. Is MF Aurelia more good now? No, not a chance. It will be a net nerf to consistency and nut draws. All right. Now that there's only a 1 HP difference between them, voice sounds very good. I think this might put the deck to a reasonable level. It might. I think it's still a nerf. It's still a nerf, right? This thing with Aurelia, did they really need to do this? Did they, like, couldn't they have just left that? I get that it's a bug and they want to fix bugs, but couldn't they have left this one in? Like, come on. Just, sometimes bugs are a good thing, and this is one of those times. Come on. Just let it, just leave it. Just leave it alone. Ah, man. Let's see what else is here. Fixed an issue where champions with barrier would sometimes incorrectly show the wrong keyword. Give it all should now correctly raise the power of allies with negative power. Okay, excellent. Moon weapon should no longer cause spells to overlap. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Howling Abyss should no longer incorrectly trigger Deep or Sundisk. Nice. Howling Abyss should no longer create invisible cards. Vladimir's Crimson Pact should no longer incorrectly damage allies to his left. Is he okay? And text improvements. All right. Okay. Small patch. Okay, so I do not actually play that much Azarelia. I mean, I've dabbled, right? And I've gotten some coaching from some pretty good players, present company included. And so to me, Darkodius is saying that the Blossoming Blade nerf is really, really impactful, and the Inspiring Martial one is less impactful because we're just gonna swap to Voice of the Risen. Which was not my take, but I trust Darkodius with every fiber of my being, so. I'd be available to come on stream if you'd like some insight, lol. I think you've provided plenty insight already, actually. I think that's, I honestly, I just trust you. I just completely trust you. I just trust you, dude. So, a lot of people are saying that this is not good enough. A lot of people are saying that this is a crappy nerf, that Riot has no idea what they're doing, that like this is not good enough. And you might be right. I just want to take a minute. I want to take a minute and remind everybody of the Lee Sin meta. Is everybody here aware of like the time that Lee Sin got buffed to be a 4-cost unit? Is everybody aware of this time that this happened? Lee Sin for a while was 4 mana and he was completely unstoppable. Yeah, those dark days. And for like a full month we had to deal with 4 mana Lee Sin in a completely unstoppable Lee Sin deck. And then the patch came and everyone was like, turn him back, make him a 6-cost again, he was fine. And Riot was like, no, we're gonna make him 5. And everybody, every pro player, every casual player, everybody said, this sucks, that's not gonna be enough, Lee Sin's still gonna be overpowered, he's gonna be too good, that's not good enough. And then we get into the game and it's kind of perfect. Lee Sin at 5 mana is balanced. Is pretty balanced. The deck is still really good, especially in the hands of really good players, but the deck is not exactly in the meta right now. And I just want to remind everybody that Riot is actually pretty good at balancing games, and this might be fine. This might be enough. It also might not be enough, but we can't actually make that call until we get in and we play the game and the meta is unfolded again, right? We actually do need to take a minute and like test it. We can't just write it off as this is not enough. They did some good moves. They also printed Merciless Hunter. Lol, that's true. Even if these nerfs completely erase Aurelia Azir, the meta will still be Nasus and Watcher. So even if these changes are underrated to the extreme, these patch notes are still 100,000% garbage. There's that. I was hoping for some Watcher. That's a good point. I was hoping for some Watcher nerfs. That is a good point. I was hoping for more. Yeah, these notes aside, you're right. That's a very good point, MBG. These notes aside, this patch is tiny. I was hoping for a big patch. This patch is not big at all. What the heck? It's a good point. Where's my Watcher nerf? I was very excited for a Watcher nerf. Oh well. Ah, well, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse, guys. My point is this could have been worse. All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time you're tuning into this video, just make sure that it is good. My name is Gameboy Rob, and you just saw what were my live reactions to the cards that were, or not the cards, but the changes that were revealed today, right? That was my live reaction this morning. Right when they were released. I've had quite a bit of time to reflect on those. This is several hours later, I think about 10-ish hours later than that. I've had some time to think, and I have had some time to see a sample, I'll say, of the community, we'll say feedback. We'll say community feedback to the to these balance changes that were revealed today. People are unhappy. People are very unhappy. I have seen a lot of people say that this is the worst balance patch that Riot has ever had, and that honestly might be true. I've seen a lot of people say they're not gonna play until Aurelia gets more nerfs. I've seen even big streamers say that like they're gonna look at playing other games on stream competitively instead of Legends of Runeterra. And I personally, I just wanted to take a little bit of time. I just wanted to take some time in this video to get out my thoughts and my opinion and how I'm feeling about this whole, you know, situation, the whole balance patch situation. Personally, I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. I think the game is still fun. I think this game is still playable. I think that the meta as a whole is not the worst thing we've ever seen it is very, what's the word I'm looking for here? The meta is going to be probably a little bit tight. It's gonna be a little bit exclusive, more so than it has been in the past, largely due to Azir and Aurelia's signature deck. There are still a lot of decks that can be played in the meta right now. There are I can think of 5 or 6 decks off the top of my head that you can play against Azir Aurelia that will do well against it. They won't auto win by any means, but they'll do decently against it. Discard aggro, Nasus Thresh, Ezreal Draven, Scargrounds. There are decks that you can play that will do well against this deck. And so I think, and even that many decks in a meta is not, we'd prefer more. We would prefer more than 6 or 7 decks in a meta, but honestly 6 or 7 decks is kind of fine. That's an okay meta if that's the meta. But it is going to be difficult here on in for a while probably to try building any new decks. I've been trying, those of you who watch my stream will know that I have been trying to make a decent Sun Disc deck viable, right? I've been trying to make a viable Mono Shurima Sun Disc deck, and I'm probably just gonna have to table that for a while. We're probably gonna have to table that for a while because it's not going to do well against Azir Aurelia, and so there's kind of no point in making that deck, in building that deck, right? As someone who wants to play at a competitive level and find new competitive level decks, there's not a lot of point for me right now in trying to build that deck. And I'm sure that is a large problem in the community right now. I'm sure that's a lot of people's problem with the game right now, is that it's going to be very difficult to be creative and successful at the same time, even more than usual, because of this deck. This deck, don't get me wrong, this is a nerf, and I might be coming off a little harshly on this because these 2 nerfs do matter. Inspiring Marshal being nerfed to 6 mana is impactful. Blossoming Blade being nerfed to 5 mana is impactful, but the meta might not be impactful enough, especially with the Irelia slight, bug fix. The Irelia bug fix might make it so that these nerfs are not as impactful as we would like. However, there's really only way to find out, and the only way to find that out is to test it. So I'm gonna still be playing Legends of Runeterra every day. I'm still gonna be streaming it every day, and we're gonna be seeing firsthand how impactful these changes are. I think it's too soon to call. I think it's too soon to say that these are not enough or that they're too much, right? I think we should give it a shot, and we should play it out and give it an honest, unbiased look, and then go from there on whether or not it's too strong. I also wanted to say that the bigger problem here, I think, is that these are all this patch notes we got, right? We only got 4 patch notes, and only 2 of them matter, right? The Taliyah and Malphite changes are they're almost completely irrelevant, right? They're almost the extra health on Taliyah could sometimes matter. Maybe you'll level up Malphite in a couple games where you wouldn't before, but that's not gonna change much for this deck. For any decks that they're in. And the bigger problem that I think people are gonna have with the game going forward, and a big part of what made Legends of Runeterra so special from the get-go, was that we had a lot of changes on a regular basis, right? We had significant patch notes kind of every 2 weeks in the beginning of this game, and that sort of seems to have petered out almost entirely. We're getting very few patch notes. This is the first balanced change we've really had for about 2 months that didn't include new cards as the primary change. And if that continues, then it's going to be another 2 months before anything gets changed again, and a lot of people don't want to deal with Azir Aurelia being unchanged for another 2 months, and that I think is very understandable. I think that is very relatable, and I think I relate to that. I think I understand that. For me, this is not enough to make Legends of Runeterra unfun. This is not enough to make Legends of Runeterra not my favorite game. Legends of Runeterra is still my favorite competitive game to play, and this is not going to change that, but it is going to make it a little closer to other card games. This unless Riot eventually changes this and goes back to doing what they did before, or something more akin to what they were doing before, then the quality of the game is going to fall a little bit, and it's going to be more down to earth, more close to the quality of other online digital card games such as Hearthstone, such as Magic, right? I still think this game is way better than those games will ever be, but it is, if they do this, if they continue doing this where they only update the game, if they only like balance change the game like once every 2 months, and it's a tiny balance patch like this, it's going to be a lot closer to those other two games in terms of quality, and that, you know, that does make me a little bit sad, but not enough to not want to play the game. I still want to be good at this game. I still want to play this game all the time. I want to be competitive in this game. I want to find new decks. I'm excited for the rest of Shurima to come out. I'm excited for the 10th region to come out, and I'm hopeful for the future. I'm hopeful that maybe once the 10th region does come out, maybe once Shurima comes out, we will be getting more balance changes. The thing to remember is that the team at Riot the team of devs that at Riot that actually does create this game, that creates Legends of Runeterra specifically, is very small. It is not a lot of people that work on this game. We don't know exactly how many people there are on like the balance team and like the bug fix team. Based on this patch, I get the feeling that the people who write these patch notes and the people who decide, you know, whether or not this stuff should be changed are not the same people that are doing the bug fixes. I get the feeling that maybe they are not the same people, based on the fact that this is just sort of here in the bug fixes and they didn't mention it anywhere else, and it's like hugely impactful and important. Based on that, I get the feeling that maybe there's not quite enough communication going on between those two groups of people, but I digress. My point is, the people who make Legends of Runeterra, there's not very many of them, and what they've made so far is very good and wonderful and a great game, and I'm really appreciative of them. And I think that, you know, writing angry messages and getting all bent out of shape and angry at Riot is a little misplaced. I think it's good to give feedback and it's good to tell them that we are dissatisfied, but it's important to remember that they're trying their best and they're making as much content as they can, and when they mess up, you know, they've done such a good job in the past that I'm willing to forgive them, you know, right? These people have made every card in the game they've designed and created, and they've also made every lab mode and lab of legends, and they've done balance patches in the past, and they've made all these cool boards, and they've created a lot of stuff for us, and they're really working with not that many people, I think. So I'm hopeful that in the future, as more sets come out, and as the last set comes out, we will go back to increased balance patches, balance changes, increased balance. And I'm willing to wait at least until then. I'm willing to wait and continue playing this game competitively every day, because I love this game. I really, really love Legends of Runeterra. This is far and away the best thing that has happened, probably since COVID. I think this is the best thing that's happened to me personally since COVID hit, was being able to play this game, and I'm really grateful to it, you know. And I'm hopeful that in the future we'll go back to being, you know, just as good as it was in the past. But even if it isn't, even if we only get like balanced patches like once a month instead of every 2 weeks, you know, like, this is still a better card game than any other card game I've played. So I just wanted to take a moment and just sort of express how I'm feeling, talk about my personal feelings and what I think about you know, the direction this game seems to be going, and I wanted to open up that discussion. If you guys want to tell me how you feel in the comments, please feel free, keep it civil. And with that said, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be making more YouTube content more later this week down the line. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble on. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time.